So, but we're here to talk about impeachment, but that's all very relevant. On January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, Gold Star Families for Peace, World Can't Wait, Veterans for Peace, Code Pink, other organizations, we decided on November 7th we were in front of the White House when the Democrats took Congress back. And the media was all interviewing me. Oh, Cindy, you must feel vindicated. And I'm like, why? The troops are still over there. You know, so things are going to change. This is a great victory for you. And I said, that's what you're saying is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that now that the Democrats are in power, the activist community are going to relax, that we are going to rely on the Democrats. And so, like today, somebody from the Green Party said, so I'm getting a sense here is that you're feeling that you're going to abandon the Democrats. No, they abandoned us. They abandoned us first. But anyway, so that really scared me. You know, and if any of you read the Daily Codes or Democratic Underground, many of the people who post there put the Democrats up on pedestals. It's like, don't you dare criticize the Democrats. Don't you dare hold the Democrats to the same accountability you hold the Republicans to. You know, don't you dare do that because they're our only hope. No, they're not. And they've proven it over and over and over again. Almost as soon as she was elected, Nancy Pelosi started saying impeachment's off the table. And so when we were hearing that, when we were in front of the White House, after some of us got out of jail, we started thinking, what do? We have to do something. We can't think the Democrats have a free pass. We can't, no more do we, the people, elect our representatives and let them go to Washington and just do what they want to do. We have to let them know that we set the freaking table, that they don't set the table. We're the ones that set the table. So we went down there. About 80 people from around the country joined us on January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's when the Democrats took over power. And we were planning on just taking pieces of paper to each office, 535 offices. And then we found out that Rahm Emanuel was having a press conference. And so we thought we'd just stick around and give him our support. If any of you don't know who he is, he poured money and resources into every pro-war Democrats' campaigns. We had great anti-war Democrats running in many districts, and he ran people against every single one of them, even going to drop candidates into the district who would be more middle of the road. Rahm Emanuel, who used to be in the Israeli army. This is the person who was having the press conference. So it took us a long time to get through security in the Capitol because they were taking our papers away from us. They're saying, you can't bring papers in here. And we were like, we just want to give them to the Congress people. And I said, are you telling me if these were bundles of 20s, we could bring them in, but we can't bring in pieces of paper? So we all had gotten into the office building. It wasn't even the Capitol, it was the office building. We were standing around Rahm's press conference. We kind of had this premonition that we might have to do something. And so we had, made this chant, de-escalate, investigate, troops home now. Because George Bush was already talking about the surge. And so Rahm Emanuel started talking about ethics reform. No. That's like putting the fox in charge of the hen house. You don't let people who are corrupt police themselves, for one thing. For another thing is that we didn't elect them to talk about ethics reform. And we all want universal health care. We all want low interest rates on student loans. Both of those things would help my family. But how are we going to get those things when we're spending $10 million an hour in Iraq? You know, those social programs aren't happening while Congress is handing them over billions of dollars to fight this war. So we interrupted the press conference. And I'm talking about this because if you'll remember, shortly before that, Gerald Ford died. And it was on all the news, was all Gerald Ford, all day, all the time. What a wonderful president he was. How he brought the country back together after Watergate. How he reconciled the country. Well, I want to tell you one thing. If he was a good president, we wouldn't be here right now. If he reconciled the country, we wouldn't be here right now. He was a crappy president that pardoned a war criminal, and that's why we're here today. If Gerald Ford had done his job correctly, if he had upheld the Constitution, if if Richard Nixon had to be impeached, removed from office, and imprisoned for war crimes, then maybe the subsequent presidents wouldn't have felt so comfortable committing their own war crimes. And I had a lot of questions. Why are you so hard on Gerald Ford? And you'd be hard on him too if you had to bury your son.